Is Trump finally giving up on Putin?
Well, reality may be breaking in. That's good news, and I think the fact that he's now willing to overrule the Defense Department, which tried to pause the delivery of air defense assets like Patriots and Sidewinders and the like, I think this is hopefully an indication of the direction in the future. But Trump still has not made a decision, as far as I'm aware, on a sustained flow of assistance to Ukraine, weapons, ammunition, military intelligence, and other things. And that's really the next decision we need. It could be if next week he has a good phone conversation with Putin, he could change his mood. You just don't know. But this is, I think it's fair to say, 6 months in to the second term. This is the harshest he's talked about Putin during that entire period.
It's the harshest, and it's also just the latest. He's been gradually getting more and more frustrated. It's palpable, actually, in what he has said and what he has posted on social media.
Well, that's what he's saying publicly. I mean, he started the second term the way he spent 4 years in the first term. He thought he and Putin were friends, and I think he believed on that basis he could solve the Ukraine war. But that's not the way it works in international affairs. Trump called the conflict senseless. Now, if you're Ukrainian, you think you're fighting for your freedom and independence. That's not senseless to the Ukrainians. If you're Putin and the Russians who support the war, and most of them do, they think they're fighting for the Russian Empire. It's not the cause I would support, but they don't think it's senseless. So if you don't understand that the two parties to the conflict have issues at stake, then no wonder you can't solve it in 24 hours.
Right. Also today, during that cabinet meeting, the CIA director, Ratliff, was discussing reports that apparently Russia has been using chemical weapons against Ukraine. Both German and Dutch intelligence say Russia is using drones to drop poison gas on Ukrainian soldiers. Today, Director Ratliff said the president is not going to allow for any violations of the international laws banning chemical weapons. Do you think Trump will take any action on this at all?
Well, I think obviously you have to look at the information. Not all chemicals are banned by the Chemical Weapons Convention, just for starters. Trump did use force twice in Syria in 2017 and 2018 when the Assad regime did use chemical weapons against his own people. I seriously doubt he's going to do it here, because that would be an attack by the United States on Russia, and they could consider that an act of war. That would be something way, way beyond anything Trump has ever done before.
Yeah, all right, let's switch to the Middle East. President Trump met with Israeli Prime Minister again for a second time today. Last night they had dinner. We carried their dinner speeches this afternoon. After his cabinet meeting, he met with the Prime Minister. Trump very much wants to announce a ceasefire in Gaza, hopefully by the end of the week, but he has to convince the Prime Minister to end his war on Hamas. Can he do that?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think Israel's going to give up until Hamas is completely dismantled politically and militarily. I think what Israel is prepared to agree to is a brief ceasefire, a return of hopefully a number of living hostages, and sadly the remains of those who have died, or maybe died as far back as October the 7th, and the release of something like 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. And so that will get some of the hostages back. The Hamas high command wants an end to the war. I don't see Israel agreeing to that.
What has the 12-day war, the success that Israel under Prime Minister Netanyahu's leadership has had in so dramatically weakening Iran, what has that done to the political pressure on Netanyahu? Do you think he might feel more emboldened to stand up to the right wing of his party and say, no, it's time to come to a ceasefire and do what we can to get all those hostages out? Or is he still very beholden to them? Because most of them want no deal in Gaza. They want to keep fighting.
Well, as I say, you can get a ceasefire, I think, fairly easily to get an exchange of hostages. There was one, the most recent, really right after Trump's inauguration, where he basically forced that on Netanyahu, and it lasted 60 days, and then they went back to war. The question is Israel as a country determined to achieve what they say their objectives are?
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.